What up, y'all? It's me, Chris, here to give my UFC 108 predictions. I don't know what this card is called, but it should be called UFC 108 Decimation, because that is what has happened to this card. There have been so many fights made and removed because of fighters being injured or, them jumping the gun, making fights for this card, or promoting fights. Not really promoting fights, but discussing fights that were going to be on this card. I believe originally it was going to be headlined supposedly by either Anderson Silva, Vitor Belfort, possibly, or Brock Lesnar against Shane Carwin. No, wait, that was going to get moved after it got moved off 106, I believe. Also, Rashad Evans, Rampage Jackson possibly was a possibility. Machida Shogun 2. Unfortunately, none of those came to fruition. The main event in the end is Rashad Evans against Thiago Silva. Not a bad fight, in all honesty. It's actually a pretty damn good fight. Maybe not normal UFC main event material, but still a good fight nonetheless. The thing with this card, I've said it before and I'll say it again. These UFC cards, one that don't look good on paper, they end up being really good cards. Like I said before in previous videos, I don't know if it's because we lower our expectations or the fighters just go out there and fight extra hard because, Dana always gives them a little pep talk beforehand if you ever watch his blogs or his vlogs. But either way, these end up being really, really good cards. So I'm hoping so, because usually their New Year's Eve cards the last couple years have been pretty dynamic. So even though the lineup's not too stacked, hopefully we'll get some good fights. Real quick on the undercard, Rafael Oliveira against John Gunderson. Wrestler against Jiu-Jitsu guy. I'll go with Oliveira. Martin Kampmann against Jacob Volkman. Martin Kampmann loses one fight and all of a sudden he's back at the bottom of the undercard. Apparently UFC brass isn't too happy with him. Either way, he should get a win here. Volkman's mostly a wrestler. Kampmann is just a better fighter. Granted, Volkman's got the style to give him trouble, but I think Kampmann's, like I said, the better fighter. So Kampmann should win this, probably by TKO. Mike Pyle, Jake Ellenberger. Pyle, more of a jiu-jitsu guy. Ellenberger, more of a strong wrestler. He had a solid fight against Carlos Condit in his UFC debut. Really manhandled Carlos a couple times. Carlos is one of my favorite fighters, actually, but So Ellenberger definitely showed himself well and showed that maybe he deserves to be in this UFC. I'll go with Ellenberger. Pyle, kind of he's good at submissions, but he kind of has trouble dealing with physically more overpowering guys, and Ellenberger's definitely that in this fight. So I'll go with Ellenberger by decision. Mark Munoz, Ryan Jensen. Not much to say here. Both kind of wrestlers. I'll go with Munoz. I just think he's a little bit better in that realm. Vladimir Matyushenko against Steve Cantwell. Wrestler against striker. I like Cantwell because he puts on exciting fights. He just likes to kind of stand and trade. Whereas Matyushenko is more the kind of guy to take you down and grind you out. But based on style in this fight, and I think Matyushenko's also got a size and strength advantage, I'm going with Matyushenko to put Cantwell on his back and just kind of ride out a decision victory. Final fight of the undercard, Dan Lozon against Cole Miller. Let's see, Joe Lozon's little brother against, Cole Miller. I gotta go with Cole here, more experience. Well-roundedness, they're about even, although Cole's better at the jiu-jitsu. But Cole's just more seasoned and has way more fights. He has more fights in the UFC, and he looked good in that win over Junie Browning. So I'll go with Cole to win this either by a decision or a submission. Moving on to the televised card. First fight of the night, Dwayne Bang Ludwig against Jim Miller. Originally, this was going to be Sean Shirk, Tyson Griffin. And then Griffin got hurt. It was Shirk against Jim Miller, and then Shirk got hurt. So now it's Bang against Jim Miller. Unfortunately, I was really looking forward to that Shirk-Griffin fight. I think that would have been just a good fight. Two wrestlers that probably would have negated each other's takedowns and just stood and traded. As for this fight, both late replacements. Dwayne's a better striker. Jim's a better wrestler. I'll go with Jim. I'll go with Jim to get position and grind out a decision. Although Bang's definitely got the stand-up and power to put Jim's lights out, but I'm going to go with Jim by decision here. Joe Lozon, Sam Stout. Lozon has been out forever. He had an injury, I believe a knee, some kind of surgery. Stout, better striker. Lozon better on the ground. Lozon probably better, more well-rounded. I'll go with Joe to win this. Should be an entertaining fight. Could go either way. But I'm just going to go with Joe Lozon. I don't know. As long as he doesn't have too much ring rust for being out for so damn long. But I'll go with Joe to take this by decision. Paul Daly, Dustin Hazlett. Good fight. Man, I don't even remember what this fight was supposed to actually be. I know Daly was going to fight, I believe, not Koscheck. I don't know. This fight was completely supposed to be somebody else. I think it was Carol Parisian. No. I don't know. Don't even hold what I'm saying to anything because whatever was the original co-main event, this kind of almost took place of. Regardless, Paul Daly coming off that big win over Martin Kampmann in his UFC debut. Dustin Hazlett beat Tamden McCrory with the 6th submission over a year ago, though. He's been out because of injuries, unfortunately. Was supposed to fight Carl at 106, I believe, but Carl pulled out last minute, literally. Daly's got the better stand-up. Hazlett's got the better ground. Seems to be a theme of this card. I think Dustin Hazlett's a much bigger fighter. I don't know if that's true or not, but I believe he is. He can take a shot. You know, as long as Dustin gets this to the ground, he should have no problems schooling Daly and tapping him out. If he can't, obviously Daly's going to get the KO. But I'm going to go with McLovin, Dustin Hazlett, by submission. And it's not just because I'm a fan. I just think that, all he has to do is get this fight to the ground, and it's his for the taking. All right, Junior Dos Santos against Gilbert Yvel. Dos Santos coming off the win over Crow Cop. Crow Cop kind of quit in that fight, unfortunately. Gilbert Yvel's coming off a win over Pedro Hizzo, knocked Hizzo out. For what that's worth. The advertisement for this fight showing Gilbert Yvel's old head kick over Gary Goodridge KO on Pride and said Pride Sensation. Gilbert wasn't really a Pride Sensation. He had that big win, and that was about it. Styles, this is a good style matchup for Gilbert Yvel, though, because Junior Dos Santos has shown he just likes to stand and trade, but Gilbert's kind of from the old school. If he gets put on the ground, it's over with. He's not going to be able to do anything. Dos Santos does have better ground. And on the feet, Dos Santos, I think, is bigger. Gilbert may be a little bit better in some techniques, overall, like kickboxing technique, but I just got to go with the younger, stronger fighter that's been looked better as of late. So I'm going to go Junior Dos Santos. I don't know if it's going to be a KO. Hopefully this fight won't be a KO. It should be pretty explosive, but either way, you got to go with Dos Santos here. Main event, Rashad Evans, Thiago Silva. Rashad coming off the loss to Lyoto Machida a while back. Then he was on Ultimate Fighter, was the coach, was supposed to fight Rampage. We all know what happened there. Thiago Silva coming off the bounce back win over Keith Jardine after his first loss today at the hands of Lyoto Machida also. Let's see. I think Thiago's better on the feet a little bit, maybe. Got the better jiu-jitsu. Obviously, Rashad's got the better wrestling. Both well-rounded fighters. For the most part, I don't know, man. This is a tough fight to call. I'm going to go with Rashad, though, just because I think he can put Thiago down. I think he can avoid submissions. And I think he can just ground and pound his way to a victory. Both of them got their jaws, their chins tapped by Machida. But before that, they hadn't really shown any weaknesses or dents, that they had weak chins. But I don't know. I'm just going to go with Rashad. I don't have any real reason to, other than the fact that I think he's a better wrestler. I think maybe, like I said, he can put Thiago down. I think on the stand-up, he can hold his own, as he's shown at times in previous fights. Thiago does have probably more power in his hands. But I'm going to go with Rashad to win this by decision. Like I said, not the most definitive or most precise analysis, but Rashad Evans is my pick by decision. And a fight either guy could win, though. Anyways, be sure to check out the website, thewillbebloodfightshow.com. My Twitter, if you're interested. I'll put the links in the information bar as always. It's probably back on next Sunday to get my thoughts after, but until then, y'all, I'm out.